Alright, well, I'm gonna have to re-upload a video. The other one was kind of weird. Um, basically the video quality was, I don't know what the heck happened to it. It kept like shaking and stuttering. I don't know how to explain it. But maybe I'll just start the series right away instead of making an explanation video. So what I'm basically doing is teaching you how to build and documenting all my steps and processes of building. I don't even know if I said that right, but who cares? Of building, and basically the road to completing this Minecraft journey of mine. So let's start with working on this guy. It's a dragon that I worked on a long time ago, never really got to do anything. So basically we'll start off with the basics of how to do handmade organics if anybody's interested, or basically the way how I do it. Now, as you can see here, there are some very complicated curves which took me a very long time to even practice doing and learning. It's all self-taught. All these curves here are handmade. I don't think there's any programs or any voxel plugins you can do to do that. Maybe there is. I don't really think so. But this skill is very important if you want to improve building and get a better sense of 3D perception. So let's start on the ground. Alright, I have these three materials that are basically the most of the materials of that dragon so far. Let's start with... Okay, let's start in the sky somewhere. And my speed is too fast, so let's do 1.45. Alright, so let's start with learning how do you make 3D lines. This is very hard, because some people can't even do 2D lines, which is where I started off with. And they basically, you have to learn, you have to know how to do this. It's kind of like art class. You have to know how to do some of the basic stuff, basic things before you get onto the higher level. It's the exact same thing with organics. God, hopefully the clicking isn't that annoying for you. Probably will be. I won't be doing too much of that deleting. I don't know why I'm deleting. I don't need to. I'll do it later. Let's start again. Basically, you have to know and practice how to do this, because look what happens in the next step. Okay, you know what? The shaders are not really important here. So this is the first level where I started. This is where I started, and it didn't take too long to learn. Basically, when you do the curves, here's the pattern that usually goes on. You go up. When you start to curve here, the numbers get smaller here. So they get long, they get shorter, and you have to really visualize in your head the curve and where it's going. You have to know where the endpoint is, like, oh, I want to be over there somewhere. Try to curve it, like you have to physically see it in your mind, kind of. Now, for me, I could curve it. I already know how to curve it three-dimensionally into like some sort of spiral. It is like basically ingrained in my mind. I don't even know. I'm making up these words. Okay, whatever. So I can basically curve it. I would, of course, I would do this. But that's for the next part I'll show you. So forget all that. Forget everything beyond this point. That's a later stage of organics, and it really, really helps if you know how to do that. You'll get so much better at building. Trust me. All right. Now, this is what I did on Xbox. Is I do more curved lines as a wireframing technique. So basically, what happens is. Okay, remember, you just visualize the curve, go down. You need to practice a lot of these curves. So when you have this, you want to look at the base and see, you got to connect these bottom ones here. We're basically doing like some sort of island terraforming, and this is a very good first step for anybody to make handmade islands. I've seen people do it on Xbox, and they basically got way better. And this is the first stages of wireframing, so this is how you do it. There are two ways. If you're gonna do the simplest way possible is anything anybody can do. If you know how to make these curves here, look at this. So here's the first layer. You want to connect it here and see. Look, you have this first layer done. You have to look at the second layer here. You have to connect it, and guess what happens? You don't learn anything new here. You're doing the same curves as before. There's nothing new here. So basically, you didn't learn anything. You just apply it in a different way, which is very, very good first step for learning organics and stuff like that. The second thing is, okay, let me just fill this in. this is very easy for me now. So basically the next thing you could do is do this. Okay, man, I gotta try to remind myself not to go 3D here. You want to connect this vertically. You gotta connect it vertically. And we're not learning anything new here. This is all from your past experience. You're just applying it in a different way. And you can combine it. You can go like this and connect it this way, but layer by layer, you see? You're not learning anything new. You're actually learning how to fill in without applying it. Now you might look at this, and if you're a beginner, you'll be like, whoa, how the heck do I do this? Don't stress out. All you have to do is just apply the curve from the beginning point to the end point. And you have to visualize the curve here. Look. Okay, hold up. This is what I mean. Visualize that curve that you're doing, because this is only one layer here. Visualize the curve. This is nothing new, actually. You're basically just applying the previous knowledge of learning how to make basic curves, and you're applying it into filling it in. There's nothing new. Watch this. Let me use the black to simulate this. Do it this way. You want to connect this same layer to this same layer. And you can edit it if you want. And I'm trying to make this as informative and as detailed as possible. Now, you can go in this one and do this. It will get so much easier the more you practice. It's just like art class. You have to practice if you want to get better. And look, you just connect it back and forth, and you will fill it in no time. And this is basically the basics of how to do it. So, yeah, the more you wireframe and do these, like I can do it in 3D. So the more you wireframe and do that, the easier it is to fill in between here. You can even go random sometimes, you know. Now random is where we're going to go to next, which is the 3D lines. I've seen some people do this. They would let's just start here. Some people will go like this, go crazy, and they just want to go single direction. And they just want to, yeah, this is a good first step for 3D lines if you have no idea how to make perfect 3D lines. You have to go with the flow in which direction, in the direction you're moving in. So if you're moving here, you want to if you want to move here and go up somewhere over there, keep placing blocks in the direction. It's like a rope. You pull it to you, and then you curve it in your direction you want to go. You have to think about your direction, and don't even worry about where you're placing the blocks. They're making an instant curve here without even thinking. Remember, you have to know this previous knowledge before you get into this step. It is really not too difficult if you are good at looking at space and proportions, and yeah, it doesn't become that difficult. And look what happens when you have these 3D lines. This is where the next level comes in, where you have to wireframe perfectly in a three-dimensional area, and then you're going like this. And then you can use your previous knowledge and connect the layers here. You see what I'm doing here? Nothing new. You can use the old basis and foundation of what you've learned, and you could make any shape possible. I can basically make any shape possible. So there, you got some sort of shape here of whatever you want to do. And this is very good practice. Just keep building stuff like this, and you'll be like, wow, now how do you make something? You know, how do you make this? Well, that's what we're going into next. I'm trying to make this video around 15 minutes long, so I'm at 9 minutes right now. Here, this is high level stuff, and you might get confused here. But it's when you take those things there and turn it into this. Oh wait, first I have to teach you how to do the perfect 3D lines. Here's the tail, for example. I don't put it randomly. I actually think about it and think about it. I have to you have to pull the rope and go with the flow, and yeah, that's where I am now. And that is how I made that curve. If you see it right there, it's really hard, but that's with practice, and you have to really visualize it. Now, when we're doing this, it's not really too hard. I don't know why I don't work on this, but it's because it takes so long to make. Let's go in with filling in. Filling in here, oh god, we already see mistakes here. That's from filling it in. Let's fill it in, alright? And I'll show you. Nothing new. Nothing new is being applied to these wings. It is not too difficult to do. So you use the same layer here and make sure it connects here, and you have to keep wireframing. And you see, again with the 3D lines, you have to learn that. Oh god, my phone, I almost dropped it. Oh, my phone is my microphone. I'm cheap, I know, but I wasn't really planning to make videos, but I really wanted to make informative videos. There, it's nothing new. You just have to learn the lines. Now, wireframing is the hardest thing. Filling in is too easy if you do the practice, apply yourself, and do it. And there you go. It's a decent. I wasn't really thinking. There you can. Sometimes you get weird looking things here. I'm trying to make it as smooth as possible. And yeah, handmade leaves a better result. But the thing is, it takes longer. It takes way too long. That's why I'm building that running man with voxel. It's gonna take forever to do it without it. That looks like it's voxel, but it's actually not. That took way too long by hand to make. That's ridiculous to build by hand, I swear to God. Alright. How to wireframe. I have nothing to wireframe, dude. Here, let's just do an arm, for example. I'm trying to memorize how a forearm looks like. This is the last thing we'll be doing for basically this video. Yeah, you can already tell the basics of organics. Let's do a wireframe. Now, some of you guys might feel comfortable to use voxel for your lines, and you just, if you have voxel, just take this. Where's the gunpowder? Oh, sorry. Okay, slash B line, pretty sure, slash V1, which is stone. Alright, so basically, let's have a block here, and a block up here. So, up one. Okay, now you use this here, and then you use the gunpowder to put it here, blah blah blah. Now you have a perfectly straight line. I can do this without the voxel. It won't look as neat, but it will get to the point. This line doesn't really matter. It doesn't matter how perfect it is. You can even use the random line thing right there that I showed you. You can do that here. And basically, there's a few ways to do this. To do this thing. So let's start with the bottom of the forearm, which you want to display how wide it's going to be on both sides. If you want, what I do, which is extremely difficult, is do the whole outside by hand. It is okay. So I'm thinking about it right now. It's supposed to curve out and in. Yeah, it's pretty much decent. It's not that good. That's why it's important to do to mark how wide it is to just get a better result. And you have to also do both axes. Or man, I'm so bad with plurals. Axes, I don't know. You want to really mark it, and then what you can do is use a 3D line to go here, or you can. Gosh, I'm too good at 3D lines. You can do 2D lines too. I'm doing basically an angled arm. Okay, this is getting out of control. I don't even know what's happening. Yeah, that is way messed up. Okay. Nope, it's fine. Just do this here, and then it goes back down. It should be a curve. Yep, it's decent. And then you want to mark how wide it is. And I can do this in a couple of seconds. Yeah, and then you can start filling in using any method you want. What I do is wireframe so much that you can barely tell that you can just fill in with ease, and it makes it look better to me. Gosh, this arm will be like, you see here, this is how I would visualize it. It goes from here, goes up here. Yeah, and this is the width of the wrist, and the hand will go here. Because I know a thing or two about forearms, so it'll be thicker here, and yeah. Blah, blah, blah. Anatomy stuff. That is the basics of organics. Yeah. I might make another video of this, so see you later. I'll next video will be the building process. I might be doing like building a small organic thing, detailing it, and all the colors, blah blah blah. It's another informative video. Hopefully you found this really helpful. I try to make it quick, simple, well, not too simple, but detailed, I don't know, and informative as possible. And hopefully, like, I don't want to make a super long video on just how to make 3D lines, but it usually comes to practice and getting experience. I can never do this without practicing on Xbox, which is all handmade stuff, no world edit or anything. So yeah, I built half of this, all of this by hand. That's why it's taken so long to build it, and it's all using those techniques. And yeah, see you in the next video. Right, bye.